What's up YouTube? My name's Quickie, welcome back to the channel. Dear, she goes. Oh, does she go? Now I need to try and make it stop, which is why I'm on brakes today. I've got the seal kits and I've got the brake pads, but I haven't got the service kits for the master cylinders yet. I want to do them as well because these were in a right 2 and 8, like proper nasty. I had all sorts of troubles with these. And I'm willing to bet that the master cylinders are going to be in the same sort of condition. So whilst I'm in there doing brakes, I'm just going to do the whole lot because then, you know, peace of mind and all that sort of stuff. I know it's safe and I know it works right and I know it's all good. Is it the perfect job? No. I didn't take out all the little guffs or the casting flashes and all that sort of stuff and really go to town on them, which I will do when I do the full project. But for now, I just want them serviced and working properly and protected with a coat of paint, and that will do. Because this is going to be a commuter scoot. This is what I'm going to be getting to work on and having a hoon about on and stuff, because I want to see what they can do. I've never had one. So that's it. I don't really care if it's not a perfect job. It'll do for now, and then when I do the full-on project build and we make it all old school, then, you know, we will be going to town on them, definitely. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm limited on time again because the other half keeps coming up with stuff for me to do. The list is getting longer. If I say I'm going to do something, I will do it. You do not have to remind me every 6 months. So anyway, I'm doing brakes today and I want to get these back on the bike. I want to get the master cylinders off and hopefully pull them apart as well and see what we've got. So that's what I'm doing. Right, so we've got all the calipers rebuilt. Happy with that. I rustled up some nice new banjo bolts as well. Do one of them in each of the calipers too, just because the old ones are a bit ropey, and you know, why wouldn't you change it whilst you're doing it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these thrown back on the bike. I do need to tighten the rear caliper up, but I'm going to do that when it's on the bike, because then it'll be held solid and that'll all be sweet. We can hook all the hoses up. Can't bleed it or anything yet, because obviously I needed to do the master cylinders, but they look a lot better than they did. Nice shiny pads too. It's quite good, the All Balls racing kits, because for the fronts I got 2 extra pins, and they always go manky as hell, so just shove them in the back of the toolkit and they will come in handy at some point. The only bits that I'm not terribly happy with, the springs on the front calipers ain't great. They've been monkeyed about with. I did have to bend one back into shape a little bit, just so it gripped onto the casting. I am going to get some new ones. I mean, they're absolutely fine, don't get me wrong, there's nothing unsafe about it. It's just, I want it to be right. I don't know, it's brakes. You can't muck about with brakes. They've got to be done well, and they've got to work properly, and they've got to be spot on, because if you need them, you're going to cuss it for not being right. So anyway, let's get these back on the bike. I'll hook all the hoses up and then look at pulling off the cylinders. Right then, clean the caliper bolts up, just wire brushed them basically, give them a wipe down with a rag to get any bits off, so they're all sweet. I'm just going to give the discs a quick clean though. We had fork oil seeping out all over the place, and I don't think any went on there, but you never know. Cleaning them front and back, because loads of people forget the backs. Look at that. Yeah. Right, so that's the frontal back together. Not very happy with this top hose. To my mind, it's too long and the union goes the wrong way. And you can't spin it round or swap ends or any of that lot, just because it all comes out the same anyway. So I'm probably going to do something with this top hose. For now, it'll do, but it does mean I've got a little bit of slack here, whereas I'd prefer to route it a bit more neatly. If that union was the other way, I could send it up the inside of the fork leg, well out the way of everything, and have it pop out here. So I might make another top brake line. But everything else is in, so it's all hooked up, it's all buttoned down. All we've got to do is sort the master cylinder out and then bleed it. Right, whilst I'm here, I've got to do something with this exhaust, because this is just silly. I've got to run this for a bit, because I think Dill is destroying his one trying to get it off. So I need some sort of baffle. 49.6. 49.6, and what's the wall thickness? .6. Right. I think what I'm going to try and do is get one of them little short baffle inserts that you can get. I can drill a hole in the bottom and I can stick it up here. There is a bend up here, so I'm limited on how long I can get it, but I think I'm going to get one of them. And what I'll do is I'll get a dB meter on my phone and we'll fire it up again, and we'll basically do a sound check. So when you go to Snetterton, for example, they do on a track day or anything, they do a sound check, and all it is like, you know, a dB meter held at 45 degrees, and you hold it at certain revs and see how much noise you make, basically. And I know on the last track that I went to, it was on my Fireblade, which also got through its MOT, because that was on the road at one point as well, with the same exhaust system, and that's 102, and I hit 102 on that on a static test. So I'm going to find out what the regs are. I'm not sure if there's one for the MOT, as in you can't make more noise than this. I'm not sure if there is, I don't know. But I'm at least going to try and get it down to the levels you have on track days, because I know that bike went through. And I know it was okay, and I know it's been MOT'd and everything else. So if I can follow the same sort of guidelines, you know, I reckon we should be there. But it's going to be interesting, actually. I've never used one. I never wanted one until now. But we're going to get one of them little insert baffles and see what a difference it makes. We'll measure it the same, and we'll hold the same RPM and everything else. We'll just see what the difference is. They're cheap as cheap. I mean, you can pick them up for like a tenner. I'd just be interested to, DB killers they call them, isn't it? That's it. I'd just be interested to see how much it does actually kill stuff, or how much of just a waste of time it is. So we'll have a go. Right, the rear caliper's all buttoned up. That's all back on, hose is connected and blah blah blah. I'm just loosening this stuff off here. I don't like these foot pegs, look. It all wobbles because it's rubber mounted for some stupid reason. Why would you? Oh, I don't know. Also, don't like this hose. This is where it joins the master cylinder, and it kind of does like a 180 here, and then it does like 100-degree bend here. There's massive kinks and stuff in it, but it's obviously supposed to route that way because there's 2 retainers here. It just, I think it's been put on, you know, to my mind there should be a little bit more slack here, and that shouldn't be like that, so I don't like that either. Oh, we'll sort it out. Right, what am I doing now? Let's... Right, we've got a problem in that there's a circlip that sits in a groove that holds the piston assembly in place, and I can't get the bugger out because it's all corroded. Same as everything else on this bike. So that whole thing is just going to go as is into the cleaner. I'll shove it in the ultrasonic bath actually, give it a shake up, and we'll see if we can't get some of that stuff loose. Otherwise this is going to have to soak, and I don't know. I don't even know if there's another circlip that comes with the kit. I need to check on that. Right, so we'll do that one in a minute. This is the reservoir for the rear one, so that's cool. Oh, it's never easy, is it? Right, let's Right, so some of these bits are minging. And for love nor money, I can't get these circlips out the bottom. There's just too much crust in there. So we got the Ultrasonic out. It's got parts washer fluid in it. We're just going to give them a rattle and see if we can't help loosen things up. But they are in a right state. So basically anything I can shove in here, I'm shoving in here. Nuts and bolts, the old lot. That can go in there as well. Yeah. Might as well shove the tops in, because look, they're crusty as hell. So they can go in as well. Where's the other one? Come on. There we go. Housings, the whole lot, it's all just going in, and we're going to give it a rattle and hopefully it's going to loosen stuff up. But we shall see. The rubber boot on the rear master cylinder did have a hole in it. So moisture's obviously got in there, and that's what's caused a lot of the grief. Plastic bits aren't going in there like this. This is just the hose connector. I'll just clean them up with WD, that'll be alright. There's no cracks or anything in it, which is nice. And we'll see how we go. Hopefully, I can get them apart then. Right. On. Right, so we've just been cleaning up the chain because it was crusty and horrible and just full of gunk and goo and everything. All I'm doing here is just getting some oil into it. This is just gearbox oil. A lot of people use this just as a chain loop. It does fly off a bit, has to be said. But for an old chain like this, it's actually cleaned up really, really nicely. So I just want to make sure I get loads of oil into the O-rings. And get it working again. It's not graunchy or anything now, it's lovely and clean. And that was just WD-40 in a rag, get all the goo and crap and stuff off. And then I've got a toothbrush out and basically just give it a bit of a scrub up. And it's actually pretty nice. Let's let that work through for a sec. Chain all does need adjusting. It's not that bad. Not by a long shot, but I need to measure it and get it set properly. If anything, for me, it's a little bit on the tight side, I think, but we shall see, we shall see. Right, these have been through the cleaner. They're a lot better than they were. But there's loads of rust in there. That circlip is just horrible. It really, really is. What I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to leave stuff soaking. Oh, I've got both the rear master cylinder and the front master cylinder. Water's obviously getting there. Both the boots was just knackered. So water's got in and it's just corroded stuff. So I'm going to leave it soaking in WD-40 overnight. Later on today we're supposed to be getting the service kits. Ideal! Chirpy little Mr. DVD has sent me another pic. I'm coming, they're on their way. So yeah, get the service kits and that's it. Brakes is all back together and we haven't really got that much left to do. Cleaned all the chain up and stuff. That is all just drenched in gearbox oil at the minute. I'm just trying to get it into the O-rings. Just, I mean, it moves real nice and easy and stuff, but whilst it's sat here, I'm just soaking it. And then I'll wipe down all the excess and everything else and give it another grease up and stuff and we should be in there. Just needs adjusting then. So other jobs left to do is I've got a colour tune coming, so I can set up the mixtures. I want to do a compression test just for the hell of it, basically, just to see what sort of state stuff is in. But then we can tune it up and we can sync the carbs and do various other bits and pieces to it as well and get it running properly. The DB killer is on its way. I did fire it up again, I couldn't help myself. So it's just as loud as I remember it. Every time you rev it, your ears pop like you're going up in a plane. And there's another fella over there, set his car alarm off. It's awesome. We got to do something there. So we're going to try and dull the exhaust down as best we can. Beyond that, it's just a case of fitting the bodywork back to it. And I've got some 10mm bar coming because there's a little doohickey thing that goes across here. Such that the back of the seat will fix down to the frame, but I robbed that and shoved it on Jixit. So I need to fabricate one of these. That's going to be easy, as it's just a bar with 2 pins in it with a couple of notches, so that should be all right. It shouldn't take very long. And then that's it. I have to keep reminding myself though that this is just a commuter scoot. You know, it's not a custom bike or any of that sort of stuff. So I'm coming across things and thinking, oh, that's a bit horrible looking, but I ain't going to change it. There's no point. I'll just be wasting time on something that ultimately is just going to get binned off anyway. So I have to keep reminding myself it's a commuter scoot and it just needs to be reliable and, you know, safe and all that sort of stuff. Because then I'll just go out for a hoon on it and I've got a bike again. So some bits just don't sit well there. I really want to change this. But anyway, that's where I'm leaving it for today. A little bit more progress. We're going to be back in over the bank holiday as well. I'm hoping the colour tune stuff comes, because then I can get the carb synced and get it all set up and see what it's running like. And if that DB killer comes, then we can do a test and see, do they actually do a damn thing? I don't know. I think I might need 3 or 4 of them. But anyway, that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining us. Do stay safe, look after yourselves, and we'll see you again next time. Laters!